greet you all and say Kaya Kuritep, Hahete, Mbamba, Moro Moro, Gaitses, Goeiemore. Good morning. I think when I start off with our different languages as a First Nation, and it sounded a bit uncomfortable for everybody. But the good morning and the Goeiemore, we are familiar with that. But all those greetings that I greeted you with are the languages that had gone lost. And that is why, Kaibia, we have something to do with our people. We have to educate our people and teach our people. I want to also especially regard the royalties in this house. Royal greetings to His Royal Highness King Links from the Arema. Royal greetings also to King Mondlane from the Dzo Khambane. Special greetings to Her Royal Highness Katrina Esau, also lovingly known as Ouma Katrina. Allow me also to greet the Kaibia Henny van Wyk and Bia Jeanette. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Now, beloved, I also want to greet all the dignitaries that are present here. I think, is that Prince? Give me Titus. I remember you, Prince Titus. You see, I'm a big woman. I'm like an elephant. I remember faces. Ek is 'n koi vrou en ek onthou goed. Come on. And also in her absence, I would like to also acknowledge Queen Shamida, who is represented by Chief Regan. They are from the Kx'am. Now all protocols observed. Kaya gangan to those, the organizers of this event, and I'm speaking to Kuses, Candace. Thank you so much for having us here. It is really a privilege to be able to be part of such an auspicious event. Will you please convey our thanks to the rest of the organizers? The one thing that I am aware of that we are celebrating, the one person we are celebrating today is Ouma Katrina. Allow me to say Ouma Katrina. Yes. I know, we know you Queen Katrina, but we call you Ouma, and that is so close to the heart. So allow me, everybody, to please stand. Join me as we raise a hand of applause for Ouma Katrina. Thank you so much. You may be seated. You know, it is a known fact that the colors do not celebrate one another. Am I speaking the truth or am I speaking to myself? The coloreds do not celebrate one another, but we are not coloreds. That's the thing. We are different to coloreds. We are a group of First Nation, indigenous, aboriginal people. And that is what the world must know and get to know in Cradle and Helicopter. Yes. Now allow me to say this, just a few points. It is a fact that indigenous people globally had suffered oppression and suppression by the colonialists that has come and taken our land. They've actually acted as if that which belonged to us rightfully as a First Nation, as Aboriginal indigenous people, they've taken the land and perceived it to be theirs. And they stripped us from our identity. They stripped us from our land. They let us believe that we are nothing. And that is a form of genocide that has taken place. Because you know what? Over, and now it's about 373 years. We're about 373 years in this suppression and oppression. And even before 1652, let me tell you that there were serious attempts, and they have taken some of our land. Yes. So we cannot go into our history and stand on 1652. We go beyond 1652. Those who are clinging to 1652, come to us, we'll pray for you and we'll teach you. Because it's important that we all understand who we really are. You see, we have been robbed dismally. They've robbed us from our mineral rights. They've robbed us from our agricultural rights. They've robbed us from our energy rights. They've robbed us from water rights. They just robbed us. They messed up our families. I am here, I'm standing here from the Nurkais. And this is a nation of the Kora kwesiba that they thought they had destroyed. Because they beheaded my grandparents for who they were. And I'm a living testimony that when Tsui Goab decided that these people will rise again, he has brought us all out. So we will rise up. In fact, I want to thank amongst them, Akaibia, Henny van Wyk and Ouma Katrina. I want to thank these people. Your Royal Highness King Links, because they've been fighting for years for our people, for recognition, for acknowledgement. Some of our stalwarts had gone to be with the Lord, and had joined the ancestors. But we are here to let this resurgence that had come from them, let us take it further. Come, I tell you, we do not have to feel as if we're forlorn, that we are forsaken, because there are laws that are speaking for us. Yes. I would like to remind you, for those who knows and those who don't know, allow me to just introduce you to some laws that is applicable and of advantage to us as a people. Act 4 of 2000. South African government has actually entered into a treaty and ratified this treaty with the UN, which says that they have to abide and submit to the international laws. So when we take land and they come to us and say, then we say, but the UNDRIP says we can take land. And you, according to Act 4 from 2000, you have to abide to that. In fact, you have to help us develop this land. Come on, we have to get to a place where we understand. Now, when you look at me, I am one of the people that had reclaimed Kx'am. And we have been there for almost 2,000 years. We'll be there for 2,000 years. We've been there for 2 years and 5 months exactly. But we also know we're getting nowhere. You see, we've been tossed around, thrown from pillar to post, just for our basic human needs. We don't want money from this government. Let me say it loud and clear. We are prepared to become self-determined. We are prepared to become self-governed. That is where we are heading towards. But the one thing that we also know, South Africa, the government has a responsibility to take care of the Khoi and the Sand people, the indigenous people. But unfortunately, our people are not informed about all these laws that we can use. I'm going to read for you some of the laws of the UNDRIP that is applicable to us. And I'm only highlighting a few. There are 47 articles within the UNDRIP. But I'm highlighting, listen to this, Article 3. It says indigenous people have the right to self-determination. Then Article 11 says indigenous peoples have the right to practice and revitalize their cultural traditions and customs. This includes, listen to me, the right to maintain, protect, and develop, here it comes, the past, present, and future manifestations of their culture. Number 2 of Article 11 says, states, you've got to hear all of these things. Don't just hear, listen to what I'm saying and let it sink so that you can know when you walk out here you're an empowered Khoisan people. States shall provide redress through effective mechanisms which may include restitution developed in conjunction with indigenous peoples with respect to their cultural, intellectual, religious and spiritual property taken without their, listen to this, without their free and prior informed consent. Everything that we are experiencing and everything that had come about in our lives had been done without free and prior consent of us.
Yes.
They've done things without speaking to us. They've done things without consulting us. And we are where we are because of that. And yet, this UNDRIP that they've adopted in 2016, signed off by a president of this land, they do not implement it. And they let us suffer. They let us go through things. Let me tell you this, I'm going to go a bit further. We're not only suffering naturally, but we are suffering spiritually. Yes. We are suffering as a people. Our brains have been messed up. We're walking under curses. Because the more they call you a colored, the more they say you a bugger all. Yeah. The more they call you a colored, the more they say you are a horse. Yep. Yeah. I am telling you today, it is my heart's desire that we all come to a place where we know who we are. Because you know what? Along, like I said earlier, along with the robbing of our land and of our rights, our mineral rights and all of those, they have truly robbed our identity.
Yes.
Our identity is a core. If we can just have that restitution of who we are as a people. Nie vir mekaar kyk en sê, who's Jay? Nothing of that kind. You know, they've also, the colonizers had led us to believe, as jy so 'n plat mens het soos ek, that's Jay nie mooi nie. They also led us to believe, if you have cruise hair like mine, no can do. Yeah. And if you have high cheekbones, my gesig is so net vet, maar ek het eintlik hoofd. But they led us to believe that those things are negative things. And exactly, and they caused so much division amongst ourselves. Because we would think, Diana is mooi, but they are scared. And you know what they also did? They allowed a spirit of inferiority to come over us. And in essence, we are the owners of this land. But that spirit of inferiority is a killer. It takes you from where you are supposed to be, and it takes you down the gutters because you do not believe that anything good can come from you. In fact, the colonizers has led us to believe that we will come to nothing. They believe that our people, as he made, in the women are the maids, and the men are the gardeners and class, and they are the madams and the baas. But one thing they didn't reckon with. Chikuap. They didn't reckon with Chikuap, you see. Because there's a time and a place when Chikuap had decided enough is enough. He used people, our old stalwarts, to start this resurgence. And I don't know if you can hear it in your spirit, but I can hear the drums beating. And it's saying we are coming out. Our strength is in who we are. I'd like you to repeat it when I say our strength is in who we are.
Our strength is in who we are.
Maybe you must look to somebody, and maybe you must look at yourself and say, our strength is in who we are.
Our strength is in who we are.
You see, we cannot depend on other people but ourselves. So the moment we get to a place of understanding who you really are, you'll be able to bulldoze any fail gedachte. Article 18 of the UNDRIP says indigenous peoples have the right to participate